Continuing from the previous episode 2875. Duanzi, the leader outside the realm? You're not injured? At this moment, the pale-faced Tian Yuanzi looked dignified, his body trembled uncontrollably, and his frightened face even showed his ferocious mouth, staring at the edge of the distant flame world, a hazy hidden in the vortex of the devil's mouth. The enchanting shadow in, where the magic mouth twists slightly, more like a never-ending vortex of greed, ruthlessly swallowing everything here, among which the extremely hazy figure all over the body, the mottled energy vaguely contains a taste of time, the overall look. There are no strange fluctuations up there, but it exudes a sense of mystery. At this time, Tian Yuanzi, the moment he saw the figure of the other party, there was a touch of fear in the depths of his body slowly sprouting. That is the leader outside the domain, the strongest who rules the entire outside domain. During the First World War, he was not at the same level as the leader of the outside world at all. If it wasn't for the protection of the Shao clan and other powerhouses, the Great Thousand World would have been annexed by them long ago. After countless reincarnations, the two meet again. Naturally it is the enemies meeting, and they are jealous. Xiao Yeshan's talent and strength are indeed the strongest people in this world. Even I can't defend against his attacks. But if I don't do this, how can you be willing to gamble? In the world of flames, the devil cloud rolled, and the energy in the devil's mouth gradually gathered, condensed in Qianying's body, set off the latter's figure, and the breath was like the arrival of some kind of demon king. The extreme icy cold, Sen Lang's death, and countless other breaths intertwined, making those golden red divine flames suspended in the air like dust, eclipsed. The power of the energy in the devil's mouth turned out to be superior to the golden flames that contained divinity. Giggle. That's it. Feeling the constant rolling in the magic cloud and the constantly congealing real body from outside the realm, Tian Yuanzi's face and expression gradually changed from shock to calm. It seems that this is an unexpected scene. Grasp of coping. The fastest update of Chi-Chi novel linked to M.QQ717-M. Q-Q717. C-Ohm, Tian Yuanzi. There has been a backlog of grievances between you and me for so many years, and now it's time to make a complete break. The faint and cold voice sounded, and the vortex of the magic mouth continued to expand, gradually evolving into a golem that was enough to swallow the sky and the earth. On the head of the golem stood a slender figure, most of which was shrouded in the magic cloud. Woman. It can be vaguely seen that the woman is wearing extremely strange decorations, and even the sleeves, neck and other places are hung with a very mysterious jade, and the eyes of different colors are full of some kind of magic, and the whole person gives the first impression. A feeling, unfathomable. Even Xiao Yan, who has now reached the soul of the gods, has a shuddering feeling in the shrine within his body when he has to look at this woman. The leader outside the realm. Tian Yuanzi. At this moment, the entire world of flames shook completely, and even the isolated island inhabited it shook violently, and cracks continued to burst open. Obviously, the power of these two rulers has surpassed the limits of heaven and earth, and once a battle breaks out, I am afraid that this mysterious area at the center of the human world will completely disappear. Tian Yuanzi? Earth Yuanzi? Jing Yuan listened to the conversation between the two people in front of them who were arguing with swords, but Qing Yuan had a feeling of being in the fog. Obviously, from the words they talked, it was not difficult to find. It seems that the two people in front of them have deep roots, more like some kind of blood feud. What on earth is it? Seeing such a strange scene, Xiao Yan's heart sank slightly. Boy, hurry up and get out of here. No, otherwise, there is no time. Quick! The second elder Xiao Bao didn't have time to look at the two people in the flame world who were fighting with swords. With the appearance of a weak soul, he directly pulled Xiao Yan and tried to leave here, as if there was some terrifying aura here. Second elder, I can't go. Now is the best chance to obliterate them. Whether it is the leader outside the territory, or Tian Yuanzi. If I leave. Xiao Yan shook his head slightly, his body, skin, pores, and even his soul were all like a greedy devil, completely absorbing the angelic praises given by Qing Yuan. A loyal servant of the devil, ready to cooperate with Xiao Yan to burst out the supernatural power that destroys everything. Today's Xiao Yan, with the full power of Qing Yuan, may have temporarily reached the level of a quasi-god in his true combat power. The leader outside the realm, Tian Yuanzi, Xiao Yan. Today, there are three big people who have a pivotal position in the world, and there are three. Senior, don't stop him, this battle is inevitable. Seeing Xiao Yan's solemn expression, Qing Yuan also pursed his lips slightly, and then smiled helplessly. Xiao Yan's personality and temperament seemed to be exactly the same as when he saved himself. But now is different from before. Back then, I was a poor and homeless bastard, and there was no way to help Xiao Yan. Now, I am the queen of the kingdom of angels, which is enough to give Xiao Yan any boost and help that he needs. Thinking like this, the angel's flame in the body gradually became hot, and the angel's wings and the angel's scepter behind him lifted up together ready to cooperate with Xiao Yan to launch an attack. This world is not what you see at all, it is simply a formation. A formation that surpasses everything, the formation of God. You will all die. Seeing the unshakable character of the descendant of the Xiao clan in front of him, the second elder slowly lowered his head and said with some guilt. God formation? Xiao Yan's mind was dizzy. Divine Formation Master and Divine Realm Soul are completely different existences. Divine Formation Masters create divine formations, and it can be said without hesitation that a Divine Formation Master is comparable to several Divine Realm Souls. That is a terrifying existence that fights thousands of troops with the power of one person. If the God-hunting formation cast by the Slaughter Angel was not finally cracked by Xiao Yushan, I am afraid that under the quasi-God powerhouse, no one would be able to escape. Not to mention this God's formation that is even more terrifying than it is today. You do have a good fighting formation master in your body, but unfortunately you lack introductions and key things, and it is difficult to create a formation that is enough to threaten the quasi-God level powerhouse. Chi-Chi's novel was first published on the whole network. As for the Divine Formation Master, that is almost an existence that does not exist in the world. The second elder shook his head helplessly. I was originally the most promising existence in the Xiao clan, but in the end, the Xiao clan suffered a big change, and we were all arrested by the human realm world lord, who racked his brains to deprive me in endless years. As for Dou Zhenxi's accomplishments, the flame world you see today is what he created together by drawing on the divine nature of holy flame, my power, and the power of the center of the human world. The second elder's expression gradually became solemn, because only he knew the horror of this formation. In the blink of an eye, the entire center of the human world will be destroyed under the formation. Even the supreme powerhouse of the quasi-God rank. Continuing from the previous episode 2876. Yuanzi, your beauty and your strength are indeed very attractive. If you and I join forces, wouldn't this world be within reach? At the beginning, you and I were divided into two. You controlled the power of the world and the essence of the world. There was no one before, and no one came after. And what do I control, do you know? In the world of flames, Tian Yuanzi patted the dust on his robe at will, and then stared at the head outside the realm with a greedy expression on his face. For a time, with the appearance of the leader of the outside world and that magnificent golem, the whole world suddenly dimmed, and even the golden sword blade around Tian Yuanzi and the flames that contained divinity were completely at this moment. Tremble. Join us? What you and I ask for is different, how can we agree? In the face of Tian Yuanzi's crazy demeanor, the golem behind the head of the foreign domain surged, and the endless demonic energy was completely raging. Chi-Chi's novels are first published on the whole network. The entire flame world seemed to tremble under the mighty shock of this shadowy golem. All the power in the flame world, the sacred flames began to rout and fled. I control the luck of this world. I am the order of this world. On Tian Yuanzi's body, a trace of golden red flame patterns gradually emerged. The ancient and mysterious patterns of the patterns seemed to far exceed the limit that this world could bear. The establishment of order is not always controlled by the kingdom of angels or the center of the human world. But it doesn't matter, from now on, the order of this world will be in the hands of one person after all. You are the king of this world. Open it, the road to God. The next moment, Tian Yuanzi's crazy face spit out some crazy words, and his smile changed from calm to crazy, arrogant and crazy laughter, full of chilling fear. Slowly, this flame world began to stir, and countless golden red flame ripples slanted out of Tian Yuanzi's body continuously, so vast that the isolated island was gradually dominated by some kind of power. In the entire flame world, the magnificent golem released endless demonic energy, the demonic clouds rolled, and the flames rose from Tian Yuanzi's body, as if two masters who were enough to dominate the world were at war, ready to go. Crash! It was at this time that the many powerhouses fighting outside also obliterated the shadow and temporarily suppressed the ancient god, and the army completely arrived in this world. Boom! The magnificent golem stands in the void, and the terrifying magic power is raging. In addition to the crazy appearance of Tian Yuanzi, who has just stepped into the Endless Flame Alliance here, the faces of many strong men of the Angel Nation Alliance cannot help but become solemn. The battle in front of them has already surpassed the limit they can handle. But now this is the last battle. Even if it is broken, they will never take a step back. Behind them is the homeland, and they have no way to go back. The world leader at the center of the human world, the leader outside the world? Xiao Tianming and the Golden Dragon King just arrived here, and they said in unison unconsciously. The terrifying aura of the two of them had already left a deep impression on Xiao Tianming and others. It's just that this scene is still far beyond their cognition. Little guy, what the asterisk is going on? Xiao Tianming frowned, then looked at Xiao Yan, who was full of unusual fluctuations, and hurriedly asked. There seems to be some kind of connection between the two of them. Xiao Yan stood in the air, looking at the enchanting woman around the giant golem. He also felt a dangerous aura. But from the conversation between the two just now, there are probably still many secrets between the two. Boom! At the moment when everyone was puzzled, the entire flame world began to collapse, and beams of mottled energy went towards the edge of this world at the same time, and finally immersed in it like moths to the flames. Zheng Xin Lu Mao Chi Chi Novel Wang. WW. Without the cover of the flame world, some ancient and complex golden patterns gradually emerged on the edge. Those patterns were arranged in a strange way, forming a huge formation that enveloped the heaven and the earth. The formation of that level, even today's the second elder and Xiao Yan could only shake their heads and sigh. The next moment, the two supremes began to fight. The mouth of the devil. The head outside the realm snorted coldly, and then the golem made a roaring sound, and saw the dark magic energy surging, converging, and then turning into a *** mouth, carrying an indescribable violent aura. Like a group of stars, the fall generally bites away at Tian Yuanzi. There is no trace of that golem. It seems to be a mixture of countless evil forces. It is more like an existence that has a special relationship with the leader of the outside world. With the existence of the latter, the strength of the leader of the outside world has become more powerful. The horror. In the dark mouth of the blood basin, the evil energy is soaring to the sky. Even the demon shadow and the demon robe behind Xiao Yan trembled slightly, which shows that its power has long been formidable to a certain shocking level. Facing the terrifying power of the leader outside the realm, Xiao Yan just wanted to cooperate with the latter to launch a destructive offensive against Tian Yuanzi, but was intercepted by Xiao Tianming. The latter seemed to have a lot of fighting against Tian Yuanzi. Confuse. The ** mouth is like an evil vortex that devours everything, and wherever it goes the world is pale. To this end, Tian Yuanzi also let out a cold snort, and then the complex golden pattern on the golden blade in his hand trembled instantly, suddenly came to life, and at the same time carried the endless golden flame breath, completely fighting with the opponent. Bang bang bang! The attacks of the two smashed together in an instant, and the entire void continued to collapse. The moment when the violent energy overflowed everywhere, it turned out to be a space turbulence, which completely broke the stable order here. As soon as they fought each other, the strength of the two was about the same. Immediately, Tian Yuanzi suddenly let out bursts of roars, and his eyes containing killing intent gradually flashed a trace of dazzling thunder, and the whole world gradually began to have countless thunder powers. Converge. This guy actually controls the power of thunder? Go back. The Golden Dragon King's expression was gloomy, stemming from his perception of danger, which made him clearly know what kind of destructive power this thunder breath contained. There is no way to retreat. This is a divine formation. From the moment we stepped in here, we have already become sacrifices to the formation. The formation has not been fully operational yet. I think this is the last hand left by Tian Yuanzi. The second elder shook his head and explained the stakes thoroughly. Everyone, I want to try. Facing such a dangerous situation, Xiao Yan's heart also became violently beating. Then go crazy with your kid. Yep, As soon as the voice fell, the Golden Dragon King turned into a huge golden dragon and completely sheltered everyone. Immediately, everyone formed a triangular trip. Xiao Yan was at the forefront, and the continuous power of the coalition forces behind him began to gather towards him. For a time, this battle of life and death between heaven and earth became more and more confusing. Continuing from the previous episode 2877. Boom! The mighty and magnificent golem is dormant beside the head of the outside world, guarding the latter like a dedicated guard, and the billowing demonic energy is released, and it turns out that the flames in this flame world are rushing. It seems that the holy flame that Tian Yuanzi is proud of, which is contaminated with divinity, can't resist this magical power of heaven and earth. At the moment when the two supreme powers fought, the numerous coalition forces of the Endless Flame Alliance and the Kingdom of Angels continued to supply Xiao Yan with the power of reincarnation. They raised their heads with difficulty and stared at the two with fearful expressions. Giant. No matter what kind of grievances they had in the past, at this time they represent the peak duel between the two worlds. The golden vertical eyes on the eyebrows of Tian Yuanzi, the lord of the human realm, opened and closed slightly, and a trace of despairing power of thunder continued to emerge, and even the latter's body began to be filled with an extremely terrifying power. The power seems to be under his delicate control, and began to pour out of his body, and began to spread little by little on his body and in this world. Tian Yuanzi's bizarre behavior made Xiao Yan feel that at this time he seemed to be an inexhaustible bottomless pit, where countless terrifying forces that could threaten the deadly power of demigods were constantly gathering. But what did Tian Yuanzi want to do with such a troublesome move? There is also the formation of the gods dormant on the edge of this world. It seems that there is no trace of destruction caused by the power of the two people fighting each other. On the other hand, Yuanzi, the leader of the outside world, stepped on the side of the golem lazily, watching Tian Yuanzi's every move with a calm expression, as if all the actions of the other party were under his control. Tian Yuanzi, Di Yuanzi, the two have long been old rivals in the reincarnation of the past, and she naturally knew Tian Yuanzi's intentions clearly. But why didn't Di Yuanzi expect so? Di Yuanzi's strength, to a certain extent, has already surpassed Tian Yuanzi's several times, but she doesn't know much about the way of fighting gods, so she wants to see if Tian Yuanzi has found an impact in these long years. Fighting gods method. This is the reason why the outer territory leader has been slow to kill Tian Yuanzi. As for Xiao Yan and others, although their strength is not bad, they have reached the rank of demigods, but in front of the outer territory leader who controls the power of heaven and earth, still weak and innocuous like a child. The fastest update of Chi-Chi novel from the beginning to the end, the only person who really made the head of the outside world care about was Tian Yuanzi, Xiao Yeshan. Your strength is strong, but you and I are one, and it is difficult for you to defeat me after all. This time, let's completely end everything in the past. The head of the outside world smiled lightly, and then his eyes of different colors moved slightly, and he raised his palm and gently grasped the position of Tian Yuanzi. I saw that the entire void was suddenly torn apart by some inexplicable force, and countless evil auras began to spread out from the cracks. In those cracks, there were countless evil creatures of foreign evil races hidden. Those creatures greedily stared at this brand new world, like barbaric monsters crawling out of Senluo's hell. Once the leader of the outside world gave the order, I am afraid that this world will be swallowed clean in an instant. You brazen guy! In the sky, Tian Yuanzi ignored the actions of Xiao Yan and the others and the attack of the leader of the outside world. His eyes that had just closed slightly opened slowly, but there was an unfathomable silver gleam in the originally dark eyes. Light spot. The silver light spots flickered and danced slightly like thunder arcs, forming some kind of extremely mysterious golden pattern in their eyes. This kind of fluctuation is not something that a quasi-god powerhouse can possess. It seems that you will really bring me a lot of surprises. At this moment, a look of ecstasy suddenly appeared on the calm face of the leader of the outside world. There is no record of Do God in the land outside the realm, even if the leader of the outer territory has the heart to attack Do God, racking his brains to find it, but there is no trace. Because the so-called Do God doesn't seem to be able to step in. At the asterisk rank, you can attack with 2 of the 4 gods, and it seems that you need some special methods to attack the asterisk of war. The Dachin world is different, because there are many records about the god of war, about the god of flowers, god of the moon and many other gods. With Tien Yuanzi's transcendent status, it is not difficult to understand these things. If there are no fighting gods in this world, how can there be so many legends of the gods? This is also the heart disease of the leader outside the region. Battle god, it's really a fascinating rank. But don't worry, Yuanzi. You won't have the chance to step into that rank in this life. Susu. Tien Yuanzi sneered wildly, the mysterious lines in his eyes began to shine like a scorching sun, and immediately painted a majestic golden beast in front of him. As soon as that phantom appeared, it forced, really like a real thing. The fastest update of Chi-Chi novel linked to M.QQ717-M. Q-Q717. C-Ohm. Above the golden hair, there are lines of mysterious dignity, and even the demeanor is full of some arrogance. Thunderbeast? The head outside the realm nodded slightly, seeming to be a little puzzled by Tien Yuanzi's actions at this moment, but with her sky-reaching ability, she also smelled a real unease from this Thunderbeast. The power that can make the capital outside the realm feel uneasy. I am afraid there is only power beyond the quasi-god. God punishment lazy. Kill me. Watching the phantom of the Thunderbeast take shape, Tien Yuanzi's expression became even more struggling, and he took out the high-quality medicinal pills directly from his sleeves, and immediately threw them into the Thunderbeast. Boom! The medicinal pill had just submerged into the hair of the Thunderbeast, and it suddenly turned into a stream of extremely pure energy, which, together with a roaring figure resounding through the sky, resounded in every corner of the world. At that moment, this Thunderbeast, like an illusory thing, actually appeared in this world with a brand new attitude. The sound of thunder is so powerful that it makes people feel in a trance, as if they will be inadvertently shattered by it. This madman is so willing? Others may not know, but Xiao Yan is keenly aware of Tien Yuanzi's actions just now. In his hand, there are dozens of holy rank 9th grade medicinal pills. That value, even for the powerhouses at the peak of reincarnation, has full utility. But like today, Motoko didn't even think about it, he directly crushed it, and immediately transported it all into the body of this Lei Sea beast. The first seat, this guy, leave it to me. Seeing the golden Lei Sea beast in front of him so arrogantly arrogant, the golem quietly dormant beside the head outside the domain also let out a sneer of disdain. Even if it was born, it was formed by the gathering of countless evil forces, but in the face of this Lei Sea beast, it also has a very proud self-confidence. It is a golem, born between the magic power of heaven and earth, and it is a supreme evil beast to help the leader of the world rule the world. Continuing from the previous episode 2878. In the flame world, there seems to be a roar echoing the heaven and earth, and the two behemoths have launched an earth-shattering and terrifying battle here. Extraterritorial golem, Lei Sea beast, all the power in Xiao Yan's body is constantly gathering, and the flame *** cauldron has now gathered the vast soul power, the holy flame power, and even all the power of the countless coalition forces in the rear. Once it is evaporated, that level of attack can be described as the offensive is huge. But even so, when his eyes were fixed on the two behemoths in the distance, Xiao Yan's heart became more and more uneasy. The source of the uneasiness was not the two giant beasts, but the leader outside the realm and Tien Yuanzi. The two giant beasts had a fierce confrontation between the heaven and the earth. The mountains and rivers collapsed and they were terrifying. It was just the unmoved actions of the leader of the outside world and Tien Yuanzi, which made Xiao Yan's heart tremble. It even caused Xiao Yan to be astonished. It seems that the purpose of the two is not only for the so-called Great Thousand World and the belonging of the extraterritorial land. Their ambition is for that illusory battle god. I don't have so much time to play these silly tricks with you. Tell me about the method of attacking the god of war. During the speech, the body of the head of the outside world glowed with a ghostly evil light that surpassed this world, and the strange jade objects on the whole body began to hum and tremble, emitting a pleasant and clear magic sound. The next moment, a sneer appeared on the pretty face of the head of the foreign territory, and then his body disappeared from everyone's sight out of thin air. With the sudden disappearance of the leader of the outside world, Tien Yuanzi, who was still brewing his ultimate move, shivered, and his body began to retreat without hesitation. The golden red flames filled his body, forming countless layers of defense around him. Because he knows that he is absolutely impossible to be the opponent of the leader of the outside world. Boom! The figure of the head of the outside world came and went without a trace like a ghost, and suddenly appeared directly behind Tien Yuanzi. His beautiful eyes were full of contempt. He raised his slender fingers and clenched them tightly, directly facing Tien Yuanzi's vital point. Blast away! Bang bang bang! With a punch, the dark evil light condensed frantically, all the energy in the entire flame world instantly solidified, and all the energy of the heavens and the earth madly gathered towards his fist. With one punch, even Xiaoyan and the Golden Dragon King, who had divine bodies, were shocked. As soon as the offensive fell, the countless defenses that Tien Yuanzi had cast shattered in an instant, and even countless evil lines appeared on the palm of the leader of the outside world, which slammed heavily on Tien Yuanzi's body and branded into the latter's skin. Above the pores, hiss! The huge humming explosion sounded resoundingly, and the world turned pale. Immediately, everyone saw Tien Yuanzi's complexion instantly pale, and miserable screams filled the whole world. This power! At the moment when this kind of voice appeared, Qing Yuan's pretty face was moved. Not only Qing Yuan, but even the many elites in the coalition forces around him, their faces became serious at the same time. The strengths of Tien Yuanzi and the leader of the extraterritorial are both quasi-god. But Tien Yuanzi is so vulnerable in front of the leader of the extraterritorial? In the high sky of the broken flame world, the leader of the outside world stood quietly, his eyes silently looking at Tien Yuanzi, who was constantly falling. At this time, the latter's skin was already filled with countless evil lines, and the whole person looked miserable. Today, he has been planted with incurable evil patterns by himself. If he does not tell the method of attacking the god of war, the leader of the outside world is enough to torture him to death. However, Tien Yuanzi is also very human, and there is no sign of falling in the face of the offensive of the leader of the outside world. And for some reason, the current scene seems to be exactly what Tien Yuanzi expected. What an enviable strength, but this time, I still won. Tien Yuanzi's eyes were cold, and there was even some kind of cold killing intent. The next moment, a cruel smile appeared on the latter's miserable face. Then his hands suddenly stretched out, and it turned out that the evil pattern planted by the first outside the territory was torn out from his own skin and flesh, and he made a mark with one hand. The pupils were filled with bloodshot, severe pain, and other countless touches, and it seemed that the moment the light seal in Tien Yuanzi's hand appeared, he lost his senses. Tien Yuanzi's body was trembling, and a strong excitement appeared on his face. Because the light seal in his hand is full of his own power, as well as the power aura of the leader outside the realm. Heavenly punishment. Forbidden realm. Ha ha ha. Yuanzi, enjoy the generous gift this seat brings you. When this low voice sounded from Tien Yuanzi's mouth, the power of Jushin Zushenyan suddenly burst out from his body, and then instantly rushed into the strange light. The golden energy halo seems to contain extremely terrifying power. That is the source fire of the holy flame. The light seal began to expand, and there were even sharp voices of extreme evil, or sacred dignity, which filled the air, followed by countless thunders, and the evil energy fell from the sky like a torrent, penetrated the void, and completely enveloped this place. In an instant, a bunch of golden thunder pillars fell from the sky, and the leader of the outside world did not have the strength to respond, was firmly plunged into it. Let the leader of the outside world struggle, but he can't escape his bondage. It seems that this forbidden world of thunder and punishment is the tomb that Tien Yuanzi deliberately designed for him. For a time, the figures of Tien Yuanzi, the leader of the outside world, disappeared completely in front of everyone, and everyone could only vaguely see a golden beam of light flashing in the void. The taste of the years. No, absolutely can't let either of them succeed. Although Xiaoyan knew little about the affairs of the foreign leader and Tien Yuanzi at this time, his intuition told Xiaoyan that today's Tien Yuanzi was an extremely dangerous person. The will of the sky. Destroy it for me. The vast energy in his hand was dragged out completely, and there was a sense of majesty against the world, obviously preparing to completely destroy such a strange scene. However, just as Xiaoyan was trying his best to destroy the golden beam of light, countless evil creatures crawled out of the evil cracks behind them, constantly roaring towards the coalition forces. With such an appearance, he clearly wanted to stop Xiao Yan and the others. Let's take action together and destroy these evil things, and the forbidden world transformed by that golden beam of light. Xiao Yan's pupils shrank slightly, and the flame god cauldron was completely enlarged. Countless high-level medicinal herbs were transformed into pure energy sources under the baking of the holy flame, pouring them on the bodies of the coalition troops, making them dry. The power of reincarnation has been supplemented. For a time, in the entire flame world, waves of violent and scalp-tingling fluctuations continued to emerge and intertwined, causing the world to pale. End of this chapter. Please remember this book's first domain name. Tang San Chinese website mobile version reading website. Continuing from the previous episode 2879. Bang bang bang. The evil golem and the sacred lace sea beast are still fighting in the flame world as they go their own way, but the forbidden world of heavenly punishment constructed entirely of golden beams of light is filled with a destructive force that annihilates everything. It seems that an earth-shattering and terrifying battle is breaking out among them. And in the cracks of this flame world, countless evil creatures are surging. I don't know whether they were instructed by the leader of the outside world or relying on instinct. It turned out to be a steady stream of spit-out evil blood, forming one after another of evil spirits. Bleeding blood, they frantically fought against Xiao Yan and the other coalition forces, trying to prevent the devastating attack in Xiao Yan's hands from spreading. The entire flame world turned into a chilling *** battlefield. God punishment forbidden realm. Looking at the golden beam of light and the locust-like evil army, Xiao Tianming's eyes were very solemn at this time. Facing the bizarre actions of the two, even he felt a great pressure, not to mention those from the cracks. The evil creatures crawling out of them are even more inexplicable and powerful pressure for them. The first battle of the human center is not only the Xiao clan's revenge for the past life, but also to clean up the worms in the Great World, so as to prepare for the decisive battle of the Second World War. If the hidden dangers and cancers in the Great Thousand World are clear, I am afraid that no one can trust the ** battle. But what happened now far exceeded the expectations of Xiao Tianming and others. When the elite coalition formed by the Endless Flame Alliance and the Kingdom of Angels was attacking the center of the human world, the leader outside the realm appeared rashly, making countless people's hearts shrouded in gloom. Kill. During the hesitation, Xiao Yan's body rose up first, and immediately waved the flame god cauldron in his hand, condensing all the gathered energy into an extremely splendid flame seed, and then angrily smashed away at countless evil creatures. Boom! The flame seeds carry countless ancient and sacred powers, and wherever they go, many evil creatures are burned cleanly by it, causing these creatures to tremble slightly and stop moving. Retreat, or else, the body and spirit will be destroyed. A majestic roar emerged from Xiao Yan's mouth, and the flame seed seemed to have a fiery storm spreading around it, causing the whole world to be in turmoil, and the situation turned pale. Xiao Yan also knew that the most urgent task now was to destroy the forbidden realm of divine punishment transformed by the golden beam of light. As for these evil creatures, they were not as threatening as the former. Cuckoo! After all, these evil beings brought by the leader of the outside world are only some unknown things. Seeing Xiao Yan's thunderous means, they immediately retreated, and the dark crowd of evil beings gradually retreated into a deep path. It was obvious that they were facing Xiao Yan. There is also fear under the flame seed of such a fusion of power. Hoo! Seeing the passage emerge, Xiao Yan's body jumped out of thin air and swooped away with the flame seed that was enough to annihilate everything. Blast me! Even if he didn't know the situation of the two people in the forbidden world of heavenly punishment, Xiao Yan's expression did not show any relief. The flame seeds in the flame god cauldron slowly fell, and then exploded like fireworks. The hot and sacred flames poured out from the sky, as if it turned into an endless sea of flames. In an indescribable gesture of destroying the world, the strange beam of light was completely shrouded. Boom! The raging fire is constantly burning, sacred, hot, ancient. Countless kinds of forces are constantly intertwined, and the momentum is huge. But no matter how powerful and terrifying Xiao Yan's brewing attack was, it acted on the golden beam of light like a gentle breeze and drizzle, and it didn't make any waves at all. How could it not work? Seeing that Xiao Yan's full-strength attack was gradually extinguished, Xiao Tianming and the others also spoke in surprise. This kind of power is beyond the scope that I can handle. At this moment, Xiao Yan's eyes were extremely solemn, and he could only helplessly shake his head. Boom! But just when the entire coalition felt rash, there was a hair-raising roar between heaven and earth, and then the golden beam of light shattered out of thin air. It's just that Tian Yuanzi at this time, the skin and flesh all over his body are blurred, the blood is scattered along the long golden hair, and he looks at the head of the outside world with a ferocious face, and there is a touch of shock in the depths of his pupils. I thought that with such a seamless plan, I could completely obliterate the leader of the outside world, but whoever thought of the strength of the leader of the outside world had already surpassed himself too much. On the other hand, the leader of the outside world today is still a graceful figure, as unparalleled as an immortal who is not affected by the world. Now, you should know the gap between us. In fact, the gap between us has been doomed from the day we were born. Let's start merging. The grievances of past lives will end today. The head outside the realm laughed, the jade on his body slowly surging, and a faint light fell off little by little, sweeping out like a round of dark sun. It's really a chess move, but you will be swallowed up so easily by you for my seat. Tian Yuanzi struggled to get up and suspended in midair. There was a weakness in his swaying body. That feeling was like his own life, and his strength was passing little by little, and strength the passage of time, but a little bit of moisture made up for the body of the leader of the outside world. Since this seat has been defeated, then you should also come to accompany me. The formation of the sky chart, open it for me. Swallow the heavens. Tian Yuanzi's crazy voice sounded, as if he had given up all hope of survival. Immediately, golden blood spurted out of his mouth, and his face was as pale as paper. Those strange blood dripped out of thin air, and then rushed towards the formation on the edge of the world. The emergence of golden blood, like the core of the formation of the gods, is like the finishing touch. The dark formation that has been silent for countless reincarnations suddenly trembled slightly. And it is precisely because of the injection of these mysterious blood, that formation is actually strange. Like humming, go, this fluctuation. Looking at Tian Yuanzi's desperate move, a dignified expression gradually appeared on the calm face of the leader of the outside world. Even she could smell an unprecedented solemnity from the formation of the gods. I want this great thousand heavens to pave the way for me to fight God. With gloomy eyes, he wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth, but a strange smile appeared on Tian Yuanzi's face. With the last bit of strength in his body, he completely ignited himself and turned into a stream of light, submerging into the formation of this riddled world. Integrated into one, immediately, the void began to tremble, and at the edge of the world, a vast dim light emerged. As soon as those rays of light emerged, they devoured everything here like a hungry beast. At this moment, the audience was dumbfounded. Please remember this book's first domain name. Tang San Chinese website mobile version reading website.